Hey yo, what it do? It's your boy J Lou. You guys are just in time for another video. In this video, what I want to talk about is basically some of the tips that thin hair waivers can use to their advantage. I've had a few people in the past that have asked me,
"Hey J Lou, can you make a video for thin hair waivers?"
One thing I want to say in the beginning is, as you all can see, I'm not a thin hair waiver. What I've been doing is going to people and that are thin hair waivers to get their advice, and these are some of the things that they've told me. So I just wanted to put that out there on more of a broader scale, simply because they don't have YouTube channels, you know. So the first thing about thin hair waivers that I want to say and discuss is, man, appreciate your texture. Because at the end of the day, appreciate how your hair is made up, because so many people nowadays will tend to say,
"Oh, I wish I had your kind of texture," or "I wish I had coarse hair," or "I wish my hair was thicker."
At the end of the day, it all starts off with making sure you appreciate what you have, you know. So the next thing, as a thin hair waiver, one of the things that you can save money on is not having to buy a hard brush. When you start woofing and everything like that, even if you go for a long time period, your hair won't get thick enough to where a hard brush will be effective. The good thing is you can stick to mediums and soft brushes. Alright, so some good brushes that a thin hair waiver may be able to benefit from. This brush right here is the Royalty 750. I believe that's the number of it. I didn't do a review on this brush yet, but I will in the future. This brush can be one of your best friends, one of your great tools. This is a good brush to use depending on what you prefer. Some people still like Diane brushes, you know, so the Diane 8118 is a good brush that you can still find. This brush right here, since it's a little bit more medium, or a little bit more firmer because it's medium, this is something you could probably use when you're like maxing out your woof, you know. So you don't really want to use anything that will damage or mess your scalp up. Another medium brush that you can take advantage of is the Torino. This brush right here is the 0656. You can find this one on Brush King's website, I believe, still. But if not, a medium brush is a brush that you most likely will use during your woofing time period. One of the brushes that you may be able to find the most benefit from is the Softy with Pull. The one that I recommend can be found on Brush King's website. I did a review on this brush. You can find that link right up here. But this is one of my go-to brushes. I'm a medium texture, you know, like my hair isn't thin, but at the same time it isn't thick. And this is one of my favorite brushes, simply because it's soft on your scalp, but it still has the pull necessary to be able to pull your hair in the direction to train your waves, you know. So I would highly recommend a soft brush of this magnitude, whether if it's the Torino Pro or whatever the case is, but you want something that's in between a soft and a medium.
I promise you, boo-boo.
Now, I don't have my Aka Kappa because I keep it with me in my car, but that's a great polishing brush that a thin hair waiver could take advantage of, you know. So one of the things that I want to just also mention on and give you tips is, a lot of times when people brush, they mistake brushing their hair versus brushing their scalp. The biggest difference a thin hair waiver will really have to focus on is make sure you brush your hair. So what that means is you're going to take the brush and you're going to use it to rake your hair. You want to be able to feel the bristles slightly on your scalp when you're brushing, and you want to brush your hair with that even pressure. You don't want to apply too much pressure on your scalp, because of the simple fact you don't want to damage your scalp. So when you brush, you really want to make sure you're brushing slowly, because when you brush fast, you tend to lose focus on how you're brushing or how you need to brush. Yeah, so you want to make sure you brush slowly. And then the last thing I really want to say, use the plastic bag at the end of your session, you know, because at the end of the day, the plastic bag is something that everybody can benefit from. When it comes to products, the one thing that I highly recommend is using light oils. Now, if you want to use something that has growth benefits, you know, like a Jamaican black castor oil is a little bit heavier, you could definitely use that. But I would recommend a thin hair waiver sticking to light products such as light oils and light butters, you know. So there's a whole bunch of products out there. If you want recommendations or whatever the case is, let me know in the comment section below. Some of the things that I can recommend is Shea Moisture's leave-in conditioner. Like what I've been using is the Jamaican black castor oil leave-in conditioner. I really like it simply because it moisturizes my hair, and it allows me, I can put it in 2 times a day, you know, so it's not too heavy on my scalp or whatever the case is, and it's easy to rinse out. Another thing is Remix products. Remix has a lot of products that are oils, you know, so you can use those oils to just put into your head and everything like that. You can use other oils. I put a blend together of Hollywood Beauty oils, vitamin E, almond, tea tree oil, coconut oil, and I can't remember the last one, you know, but they're all light oils, you know, so anything that's light you definitely want to take advantage of. Alright, one thing I want to recommend, highly recommend that thin hair waivers do, especially if you are concerned with growing your hair or trying to make it thicker. Scalp massages is something that I do no matter what, you know. So scalp massages are known to help promote your hair to grow as well as to make it strong, you know. So typically what I tend to do when I do a scalp massage, but I'll take a light oil, rub it in my hands, put it all over my head, and then just use my hands in this kind of motion with my fingers and like massage it in at least 5 minutes. You know, if I'm doing this, sometimes I'll probably watch a TV show and then I'll just do a scalp massage for like the first 10 minutes or whatever the case is. But a scalp massage will have the same effect that a hard brush is typically known to have by helping stimulate your scalp to promote hair growth, you know. But because you can't use a hard brush, I highly recommend doing scalp massages, especially if you're going to use a thickening product, you know. So one of the products that a lot of people tend to use is wild hair growth oil. That's something that I typically use when I do my scalp massages. That's a real good tip that I would recommend to a thin hair waiver that is trying to encourage their hair to grow a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more thicker, is simply do a scalp massage, you know. So what I plan on doing is making a separate video of how to do scalp massages. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Be on the lookout. Alright, so the last thing you may be wondering or thinking to yourself is probably something like,
Hey J. Lou, man, what about combs though?
Combs?
Yeah, man, combs.
You talking about Sean Combs?
Nah, bro, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about Combs?
yeah, man. So when it comes to combs, my advice is always the same. I always recommend people use a wide tooth comb simply because of the fact that a wide tooth comb easily detangles your hair. It doesn't put too much stress on the strands, and it allows you to get all the way deep into the roots, you know. So whenever I comb my hair, I typically start off with a wide tooth comb. I rarely ever use the teaser end unless I'm woofing, you know, and the reason why is because I want that pull. But as a thin hair waiver, if you don't have that much hair to pull or whatever the case is, but you still want to comb, stick to the wide tooth portion, you know, because at the end of the day, this is still going to pull your hair. When your hair is thicker, you need a little bit more force, and that's kind of like the teaser portion. That's what I use, and I also use this one. But the good thing about being a thin hair waiver is you don't have to worry about using a comb like this. Man, just stick to the wide tooth comb, you know what I'm saying? So the last thing I want to say is don't let people sway you from pursuing waving, you know, being a waiver just because you have thin hair. I look at it like fitness. When you start working out, everybody's different, you know, so you have to appreciate yourself. You have to find out what works for you, you know. So this video I really wanted to just make just to be able to give some advice, some pointers. Some of these things you may already know, but some of these things you may not know. I hope y'all appreciate this video. I'm not gonna make this one too long, but it's your boy J. Lou. Salute.